Next on OU Nightly, Oklahoma Muslims slam a state legislator who labeled them as terrorists. Another frightening report about abuse of Oklahoma women. And there's still no sign of accused murderer Dell Vance. OU Nightly starts now. The search for accused double murderer Michael Dell Vance is well into day 5, and Vance is nowhere to be found.
Vance is wanted on multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, wounding 2 Wellston police officers, and a host of other charges. The FBI and the U.S. Marshals are heading up the manhunt, and his whereabouts are still unknown. Officials say he could be injured or dying from a gunshot wound he sustained during a shootout with police. Vance was last seen driving a 2007 gray Mitsubishi Eclipse with license plate 943LQQ. Anyone with information should call the U.S. Marshals.
While the search for Vance continues, a sign of relief for a community nearly 30 miles south of Wellston. Shawnee police have arrested 2 men suspected in the grisly murder of a 91-year-old woman. Over the weekend, Florence 5 was found dead in her home with a stab wound to the neck. Court records show both men arrested were out on bond at the time. Detectives believe she was targeted because she was elderly and lived alone.
And a new study shows women in Oklahoma are being murdered by men at a higher rate than last year. The state's already dubious 2013 placement of 6th in the nation is history. Oklahoma is now 4th in the nation. The latest report by the Violence Policy Center shows that in 2014, males in the Sooner State murdered 32 females. That's a homicide rate of nearly 2 women murdered for every 100,000 people in the state.
And with elections around the corner, Oklahoma State questions will be on the November 8th ballot. OU Nightly's Emily Aiken shows us why State Question 790 could cause major controversy. We apologize for those technical difficulties. 2 political events on campus tonight. The OU College Republicans are hosting Devon Energy co-founder Larry Nichols, along with the chairwoman of the State Republican Party, Pam Pollard. That's at 9:30 in Dell Hall. And just across the South Oval here in Gaylord Hall, a political forum covering several state questions that Oklahoma voters face this year. The event is in Gaylord Hall Auditorium, and it starts at 7 o'clock.
Man, it was foggy this morning, and then the sun came out and it kind of warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, it was really nice weather.
All right, Sawyer, you got more for us?
Yeah, so it was a little warm today, and that's due to we have a high pressure system just right here in the central U.S. You can see up in the northwest, they've been dealing with some showers for the past several days, into even last week. And then in the East Coast, especially up in the Northeast, they're expecting some showers right now, and some of that even turning to snow. So the ski resorts that got some snow last week are going to continue to get some more snow, which is very nice for them and anybody who likes to ski. Currently right now here in Norman, though, 82 degrees, those south-southwest winds at 6 miles per hour and humidity at 47%, and some partly cloudy skies. We've got some cumulus clouds outside right now. Now coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk more about how we're expecting a mild night tonight, although those winds are going to be picking up into tomorrow, and I'll have your game day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Until then, back to you.
Thanks, Sawyer. Kyle Payne joins us in the News Center with the latest from the campaign trail. Kyle?
This afternoon, Hillary Clinton joined forces with Michelle Obama on the campaign trail. The First Lady is pushing hard for Clinton to be the candidate replacing her husband in the Oval Office. Clinton called the First Lady her not-so-secret weapon at their first stop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And Donald Trump is targeting Bill Clinton and his foundation after new WikiLeaks revelations. One leak contained a 13-page memo from Doug Band, a personal advisor for Bill Clinton, and his plan to use Clinton's stature as leverage for donations to the Clinton Foundation. Trump used Clinton Inc. as his linchpin for accusing the Clinton family of using their fame for personal gain. And the North Dakota pipeline protests have reached a crossroads. Violent outbursts surfaced just hours ago when protesters set fire to a bridge and other nearby debris. The tribes of North Dakota worry the pipeline will destroy burial and prayer sites, along with culturally significant landmarks. And over a year after the fatal crash, Amtrak will pay over $265 million in a settlement agreement to the families affected.
Thanks, Kyle. An Oklahoma legislature is being called out for name calling. The GOP representative John Bennett earlier this week called the Oklahoma Council on Islamic Relations a terrorist group. Bennett made the remarks at a hearing he created called Radical Islam, Sharia law, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the radicalization process.
Platform as a state leader to demonize and vilify the Muslim community when there are clearly so many other issues that our state really needs to work on.
Lejour says even though Bennett's words were inflammatory and hurtful, CARES has received a lot of support from the Norman community in the form of the hashtag #NotMyEnemy.
We saw a pretty fantastic response from our interfaith allies under the hashtag #NotMyEnemy, and we've been getting actually a lot of really positive messages for the last couple of days saying
Lejour wants Oklahomans to reach out to mosques in their area to learn more about the Muslim faith and Muslim communities in their state.
And another Republican state House candidate is facing criticisms from Oklahoma Latinos. Candidate Jay Means sent a campaign flyer to voters containing racial undertones. And it landed in the mailboxes of his district, which is almost 40% Hispanic. The flyer shows pictures of students, some minors who are in a local chapter of the League of United Latin American Citizens, but the flyer implied that the students shown are undocumented. The flyer accuses Democratic opponent Mickey Dolenz of being soft on immigration and being against the deportation of illegal aliens. Still ahead on OU Nightly, a mother's medical miracle.
Plus, homecoming is right around the corner. And we now have that video earlier that we were having problems with. With elections right around the corner, state questions will be filling Oklahoma's ballot on November 8th. OU Nightly's Emily Aiken shows us why state question 790 could cause major controversy.
Oklahoma is buzzing, not over who it's going to choose for president, but other ballot measures are getting all of the attention. One in particular, State Question 790, would repeal a section of the Oklahoma Constitution that prohibits public money from being spent for religious purposes.
It opens up the possibility that any religion, even those that might be disfavored by the majority in Oklahoma, could receive state funds.
This was placed on the ballot after the Ten Commandments monument that used to stand on Capitol grounds was ruled unconstitutional.
So clearly there's a fairly narrow focus for it, but if this passes, it opens up a big set of issues.
Not only does this state question trigger social controversy, but if it passes, people are wondering where the state will get money to fund these religious projects.
But now is supposed to fund, or would be required to fund upon request, religious programs or projects. Where does the money come from?
People in favor of the change say the original meaning of the Constitution is making the state hostile to religion, but people opposed, like Pastor Mitch Randall, bring their own set of arguments as well.
The Ten Commandments is a religious document, period. You cannot read the first set of commandments on those tablets and not understand it to be a religious document.
The question is proposed for the November 8th ballot. Emily Aikens, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Emily. Sammy Steele joins us in the studio with the latest on the health. Sammy?
It's flu season in Oklahoma. Let's take a look at the state's health department's weekly report. Numbers haven't really changed since last week. The state has 0 deaths and only 14 influenza-associated hospitalizations since September. However, even with the low numbers, the state warns its residents to get a flu shot if they haven't already. There's a few more ways you can prevent coming down with the flu this season. Wash your hands, cover your mouth when you cough, and if you're feeling under the weather, stay home. And a less expensive EpiPen is hitting the market, the U.S. market in early 2017. The pharmaceutical company Kaleo announced Wednesday that AviQ will reintroduce its compact epinephrine auto-injector. The cost of EpiPens has gradually increased to $600 this year. AviQ can be used to treat the threatening allergic reactions by delivering epinephrine to help relax muscles, open airways, and reduce swelling. And today we update you on a story that captured millions of hearts across the world. It's been 2 weeks since the 27-hour surgery that separated the 13-month-old conjoined McDonald twins. The mother, Nicole McDonald, was able to hold one of her sons for the first time last Friday. While the boys are progressing at different rates, they are doing incredibly well since the surgery. That story is incredible. I don't know if just a medical miracle. Looking at all of those pictures, I can't imagine what those two parents have been through, but incredible.
Yeah.
So we end on a good note.
Yeah, glad to hear they're doing well.
Me too.
Thank you. And homecoming weekend is around the corner here at the University of Oklahoma. It's only 2 days away. Student groups are completing their parade floats, and Linda Bulgarelli tells us the latest on their preparations.
Homecoming at OU. A weekend of floats, parades, and football. But what people don't see are the weeks of preparation that go into this historic weekend.
So we started this about 3 to 4 weeks ago, so like a month ago. And yeah, we do it like for 3 hours a week.
Students pump for 3 to 9 hours a week for a full month to make homecoming happen. Pumping is what brings beautiful colors to OU's homecoming, taking plastic material like this and putting it into chicken wire to build the homecoming floats. On top of pumping, some students are involved in the homecoming dance as well.
Well, most people who are actually in the dance are usually pretty busy with like classes and other things like that, so the 9 hours that like we put in each week are actually like, doesn't sound like a lot, but in just like 4 or 5 days, it's actually like a lot of time that we put into that. So
Homecoming weekend is still 2 weeks away, but the preparations will increase as the event gets closer. London Bulgarelli, OU Nightly.
Well, homecoming isn't 2 weeks away, it's this weekend, so if you're interested in going to the parade, it will be this Saturday.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, the Halloween mask stores can't keep on the shelves.
Plus, Laura has a look with the latest on weather.
It's been a really nice day, and how long is that going to last? I'll let you know coming up after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We talked about that fog earlier in the newscast, and here's some photos. This was taken in far west Norman. We got several photos here. That fog, it came in really thick. This is some of the thickest fog that we've had since last winter, and especially getting into the fall and winter period. We're going to see a lot more fog, and so just be aware of that, and just watch the National Weather Service. We'll put out some fog advisories if the fog is too dense and you really need to pay attention. But current conditions outside right now, we have the lower 80s across much of the state. Now up in northeast Oklahoma, where they've seen a lot more cloud cover than we have, they're in the upper 70s to even some upper 60s up near Miami and Veneta. And so those clouds are going to start moving out of our area. And behind those clouds, we've got some wind speeds, or really gusty winds coming in. Right now, those winds are coming out of the south at 8 miles per hour. But up in Guyman, there's our next little bit coming in. We're coming out of the south there at 16, gusting up to 25 at times. That's going to be moving our way as we go into tomorrow. Lows tonight, though, lower 60s, upper 50s across the good portion of the state. And then for our highs tomorrow, we're looking at much the same today. We're still way above normal as far as temperatures go. We're going to be in the lower 80s and some upper 70s occasionally and elsewhere, especially in the northwestern part. Now, the big story right now is we had all those hurricanes and everything in the Atlantic Ocean, and right now, Tropical Storm Seymour, just downgraded from a hurricane, is starting to dissolve a little bit and just kind of weaken a lot. You can see we have this line right here is where two of our satellites just kind of overlap, and there's not great data. You can see, though, it is weakening a lot as it's going to move on up near Baja, and especially when it gets just west of Baja, we're looking at around 1 p.m. Saturday, becoming a tropical depression, and then just kind of fizzling out. So overall, not a lot going on. Now, our future radar right here, you can see we're going to be in the, well, just around normal temperatures, or far above normal temperatures, excuse me, for the next several days and even into next week. And so that's going to continue on in, especially during football forecast. We're looking at mid-70s, and then for the 7-day, still way above normal. We're looking at mid-80s. We do get a chance for some showers next week, but that's still 7-8 days out of the forecast, so we're not looking too much into that right now.
At least we'll have a good weekend for homecoming.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can go out and check out those parade floats.
Exactly. Go check them out.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Carson Williams has a look at the Thunder's first game of the season. Carson?
A new era of Thunder basketball tipped off last night in Philadelphia. Russell Westbrook was the star of the show for a few reasons. You won't want to miss it. Sports is straight ahead. The Russell Westbrook Revenge Tour has officially begun as we begin at the OU Nightly Sports Desk. The Oklahoma City Thunder strolled into the city of brotherly love to take on the Trust the Process 76ers. Philly jumped out to an early lead behind Joel Embiid, who is finally healthy and looks like a budding star. Good to see him back on the court. Russell Westbrook now has to carry the bulk of the load and did so last night, notching 32 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, nearly tallying his first triple-double of the season. OKC would escape with a 103-97 victory and now head back to the 405 for the home opener tomorrow night against the Suns. And it was a memorable season opener for Westbrook in another sense, too. He finishes this fast break with the and one with a warm welcome from this Philly fan. Sure looks like the guy is really letting Russ know he's #1, but the arena security didn't see it that way, and the fan was escorted out of the arena.
I know. I turned a new leaf, though. I leave that alone because that cost me $25,000 last time. So, I guess the fan, he'd be all right. I guess they can say whatever they want to the players and do what they want. But, my job is to play basketball, and that's what I do.
Back in Norman, Bob Stoops and the Sooners are focused on Kansas and hoping to fix the defensive woes the team has dealt with the past couple of weeks.
But being here at home with KU, a team that is much improved, Coach Beatty and his staff have done a great job. Doesn't look like the same team from a year ago by any means. We've had a lot of occasions where we've tackled really well. So if they've done it before, I believe they can do it again. There isn't, we do all our drills, like you always do, but the live situation's always different. All our coaches are responsible. Yeah, the coordinator doesn't coach everybody, so in the end, it's each position is, coached by somebody, but those guys have done a good job. I know a year ago, everybody was raving about our secondary coach and the new coaches, and we got running the same things, doing the same things, and I still have great confidence in all those guys.
After a World Series Game 1 win for the Cleveland Indians, Game 2 last night in Believeland. Reigning NBA champs LeBron James and Richard Jefferson on hand, showing the Indians some love. Chicago strikes early in the first, a base hit to right. That'll score Chris Bryant all the way from first. Kyle Schwarber is back from a torn ACL with 2 big ribbies for the cursed Cubs. This one here in the third, scoring Anthony Rizzo. And then again in the 5th, Kyle Schwarber had the Cubs rolling. They coasted to a 5-1 win in Game 2. The series now shifts to Wrigley for the first time since 1945. And one fan hoping to see the Indians win the series is 104-year-old Clevelander Emily Sarian. She has a simple message for the tribe.
Oh, this is the year. This is the year. But it never came. Win one before I die. That's what I want. And I told them enough. I think they know it now.
Guys, that's really something I want to see happen. I know just for her, that would be such a great story to see her, watch, them get the World Series.
That's such an adorable Cleveland's fan.
She's so cute. Thanks, Carson. Still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at our evening planner forecast.
Fear not, little politicians may be coming to your doorstep.
I'm Shireen Hashem at the OU Nightly Update Desk. No one is injured from the 2-vehicle collision involving a Moore school bus. The bus was hit by a car coming in the opposing direction on Sooner Road. And Twitter announced that it's shutting down Vine, the popular mobile app, due to a 9% budget cut. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Shireen. As Halloween approaches and political banter reaches an all-time high, don't be spooked if you see little Donald Trumps and Hillary Clintons at your doorstep asking for candy on Monday. Party City says these masks of the political rivals are flying off the shelves. Out of the two, the company says there has been more demand for the Trump costumes. Spooky.
Yeah, that's a little bit creepy. You know, I'll stick to just the normal Halloween costume
It's great.
vampires.
You're teaching young children about politics early on.
It's the year to learn
True.
about it, isn't it?
Well, and Halloween overall is looking like it's going to be a little warm, but tonight, though, we're looking at 71 by 8 p.m., just a few clouds. Those winds will start to shift and pick up as we go into tomorrow. It's going to be gusty tomorrow. We're looking at gusts up to 25 miles per hour, so make sure you do your hair right.
Thanks, Sawyer.
Thank you. Thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night, live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.